How's it going, everyone? Dominican Steel here, back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Modern Warfare, if you couldn't tell by the title. Now, this is going to be answering many questions on Modern Warfare 2019, since its release, since its beta, and is the game playable? So we're going to go over a few things, including some patch notes, how it was before, how it is now, and what they are planning to do in the future for this game. So, is it playable? Straight off the bat, fast answers, yes. The game is playable. Now, is it actually fun? Is it enjoyable? Fast answer, not really. Not really at the moment. Still hasn't been since the launch. And aside from that, let's dive right into what we're going to be talking about. So first things first, let's name off a few things that is wrong with Modern Warfare that is still not really being fixed. So the maps. The maps promote camping. Number one biggest thing in the game right now at this moment, besides the score-based matchmaking, is the camping. We'll go over that next. But camping is being promoted because the maps are terribly designed in a way where nobody can get the upper hand, or if somebody does get a choke point, it's game over. Whether it's hardcore, which is 10 times more gruesome and grueling to play through than core, it is still a fast time to kill. That also promotes more camping because you won't be able to turn on someone as fast unless they're completely missing their shots. Hit detection is also a problem, but aside from that, let's keep on going. So the maps from the launch are just awful. They have doors that open in and out somehow. They have tons of different just mechanics on the map where it promotes camping. So enough of that regurgitation information. Let's move on. So time to kill, we already know that's fast. And the matchmaking, score-based matchmaking is kind of a joke at the moment. Now, it's not like any other Call of Duty where you go into a match and you're thinking, oh hey, this is going to be a fun experience, and normally matches would go like this for, I would say, almost anybody. You go and you search into a pub stomping, you're in a pub stomping mood, you're about to start pub stomping if you are good at the game. And the game will pretty much pair you up with a bunch of randoms. If you have a 1.0 KD, there's a chance, a very good chance, you're going to get paired up with people with a 3.0 or something every now and then. And every now and then you'll have that one or two players on your team or maybe the enemy team just toasting and roasting because their KD is high, they have a high score per minute. And I guess the game tries to not really balance it too much, but you basically get both ends of the spectrum here. You basically are able to go try hard some matches and get all your streaks, high streaks, and just keep chaining kill feeds after kill feeds, or you might meet your match and get absolutely dominated by a team of 5-6 people partied up on the enemy team, mass communicating. This isn't, it's a bunch of nonsense. We have all been through this if we played Call of Duty. Now, in Modern Warfare, it's completely opposite. It matches you with people of your concurrent skill level from your previous matches, not your overall skill level. So if I play on my account and I have a 1.0 KD, not only am I going to get matched with people in their previous lobbies that had a 1.0, I also am going to have to play with the way that they play, like meta guns. People are going to be running around using more of a try-hard loadout, more of a sweaty loadout than someone with a below subpar 1.0 KD, like a 0.5 or something, and they just get shit on every single match and destroyed. That is going to be the opposite, and that is what we don't want, because it's always fun going up against noobs, but it's not fun going up against people that are way above your skill level, that they get destroyed in a bracket, they'll drop down to your skill level and just rain down infinite streaks, whether it be on you or your teammates. The higher up in the skill bracket doesn't always mean that everybody's going to be sprinting around like you and playing aggressive. In fact, it might even be the opposite in controlled playlists like, let's see, maybe domination, hardcore or core, same thing. I've seen it all the time, and recently in my previous like 20 matches, there will always be campers and claymore users and equipment users, no matter what Call of Duty. But it's insane the amount of play styles that people are using. Nobody wants to play aggressive once you hit those higher to reach skill-based matchmaking matches. So on top of all of this, the spawns on some maps are atrocious. I've had it many times, not just Shipment, because we know Shipment's terrible, but other maps, small maps, big maps, the spawns are just awful sometimes. We got the whole perk system with dead silence not being a perk. Instead it's a specialist. That's thrown out the window. That's still a thing in this game. In every other Call of Duty, it was not a thing to have dead silence, which is another thing that it does and doesn't promote camping. That's such a weird thing to talk about. But on top of all this, the devs aren't really listening too much on what we have to say as a community. But on the topic of the devs, they are trying pretty hard to try and squash all the bugs. If we read their recent patch notes, they go crazy trying to destroy any glitch in the game, anything that's not really supposed to be happening. But on top of all this, they're still leaving things to be OP. The M4 carbine, M4A1, that weapon was absolutely monstrous in the beginning of the game, but they listened to us and then they nerfed it down to be a good weapon, not a broken weapon. So some things are getting nerfed and changed and buffed at the same time. Mobility, that's a huge trade-off. So in this game, it's not like any other Call of Duty where if you don't use so and so many perks in your class setups, this is going to be talking about class setups, if you don't use all of your attachment slots, you're not getting those attachment slots to work for your perks. Like in Black Ops 4, for an example, if you didn't use your red dot sight attachment or a grip attachment and a stock attachment, that's 3 attachments you could be using on your weapon, you could be able to put it into your perks, so you can run 3 extra perks instead of running 3 extra attachments. You're not able to do that in this game. Instead, they promote you have the most attachments possible. You need to have as many attachments on your weapon as humanly possible in the game, which is 5 of whatever kind of attachments and a weapon perk, just like in Modern Warfare 3 where they had the weapon perks like Stalker and things like that. Those were weapon perks back then, so I guess they're trying to bring back that mechanic in this aspect. And so if you pick up a gun and it doesn't have any attachments, you're at a disadvantage. Every gun in every setup needs to have at least 5 attachments for it to even be viable. And of course, meta weapons, meta loadouts, which basically means the best loadout, the best attachments on a weapon for playing aggressively, which is how people have fun in Call of Duty. You run around and you get kills. So that way, since it's not really being promoted that much, submachine guns and shotguns are your only way of getting around the map extremely quickly. And it's pretty much hit or miss. Again, you need to pretty much max out your weapon, all your weapon levels, all your attachments unlocked for you to be able to stand a chance against someone also around your skill level. And while on the topic of your skill level, you are pretty much, when you play Modern Warfare, the long version of my fast response, the experience is just detrimenting. You get on after a hard day of work. Let's say you worked your 8-9 hours a day. You're coming home, you better be like, oh hey, I'm gonna play with my friends You grab the controller, you put the headset on. Oh, hey, you know, what's up, everybody? Oh, let's play some Modern Warfare. Well, if you're the host, you search for something, and you're better than your friends are getting tortured. They're getting destroyed in that whatever match you're gonna be playing in, for the most part. And maybe this is not always true, but 99% of the time this happens. And you are constantly in regular matches, not in competitive, not in anything league play, none of that requires you to play people of your skill level. You're playing people at your skill level. It's like you're playing competitive, but with a variety of people that get to competitive, like people that camp, that make it into high brackets in competitive, people that play aggressive, that make it into high brackets in competitive, that shouldn't be up there. They're basically all mixed and mashed together, so you're basically paying to play this big clump ball of nonsense. Everyone is intertwined, and you will never be able to avoid it. Every match you play, 99% of the time, you're just facing people that are around your skill level, which aren't really around your skill level at all, because they got a bunch of streaks by camping or whatever it may be, and they have to bring that toxicity into the lobby. Now, I don't know about you guys or anybody else, but I don't think that makes any sense, that I'm gonna be trying as hard as I can every single match. That is not fun. You get burnt out. I know I get personally burnt out so quickly playing people as hard as I can, just sweating, focusing for 3-4 hours, just, oh, you over here, guys, oh, call out. Why is that in regular matches? Where is the competitive? And even if they do release the competitive, I'm not talking about the 2v2 cage matches that they brought back, because they do have those, but that's still not going to bring all these people out of there. The only way to completely fix this is to make it back to the way it was. Now, another thing that I just thought of and also remembered is the fact that the UI, or the HUD, in-game HUD, the overlays. So you have your radar, and then you have a compass on top of the map. And the compass is at the top of your screen and is almost like blackout, I want to say. I don't really know what to call this. It's such a weird new thing where your compass pretty much gives you access to seeing whoever shot. Instead of showing it on the minimap, you're seeing it over your head, so you constantly have to be looking at the minimap when you have a UAV, looking at who's shooting on the map or on the compass, and turning whatever direction that the arrows are pointing in, trying to find them, all while you're sprinting around light speed with dead silence on. And it makes everything so much harder. On top of all of this shit sandwich that they made for the UI, you also have to be aware of your surroundings, because everyone is harder to see. If you guys have played Modern Warfare, the original or the remastered, the contrast was pretty low, to the point where everyone and everything not only looked grainy, but everyone was harder to see, to an extent where if you walked into a dark building, you're done for. You're destroyed. Nobody can see you. You can't see them. They can probably see you. Have a perfect point of view because you just open the door and let all that light in, so only you are visible. But not even just in buildings. In this game, Modern Warfare, it's literally everything. It's honestly everywhere you go. Everybody is harder to see, to the point of they can literally blend in without a ghillie suit, which is the whole point of a ghillie suit, is to blend in. You don't need a ghillie suit in this game. So you're already trying to figure out where they are, looking at the compass, looking at the map, looking at freaking where they are on the map in your first person point of view, trying to find them. And people are camping, so they can already notice you running around the map waiting for you and about to snipe you and kill you in 0.5 seconds with these terrible map designs that promote camping. And it's just a combination of all of these things with the score-based matchmaking that destroy everything. This is the icing on the shit sandwich. It's just destroyed. Nobody can play this game and say, hey, that match was a heck of a lot of fun. Let me go play Piccadilly again. Nobody says that, because Piccadilly is the worst map in COD history, and the game has little to no replay value, with the ranks only ranging to, I believe, 155. So the max rank is 155. You can't prestige. We don't know if they're adding prestiges in. And you're getting matched with a bunch of crazy people that are being as toxic as possible. You can't play hardcore because hardcore is filled with even more campers than ever recorded history. And ever recorded in COD history. And it's insane. It's really just crazy, the amount of things that could go wrong in this game. This is not even mentioning like if you're lobby surfing or not, because that's not even possible at this point. But that's pretty much all I can think of on this game, and it's more of a rant than it is a questionnaire, I guess, styled video or review or overview of this game. This is just like almost like a bunch of frustration combined with like just the fact that Infinity Ward thinks that this is a good game on their part. It makes no sense, because no matter what skill bracket you're going to, 99% of the time you're gonna feel like you're in some I don't even know, some kind of WWE match. Like it all feels so fake and like non-realistic. It's like the only thing this game has really going for it is that the devs are, I think they're starting to listen somewhat, but not entirely. And then the actual gameplay, like the actual feel of moving around and sprinting and doing your tactical full-on sprint where you put your weapon up in the air, or being able to jump and slide, like that all feels very solid. Maybe not as crazy and overtuned like Black Ops 4 was, where you were able to jump super high in the air flawlessly with no gun sway. No, this is more like you have this heavy weapon in your hands, and you're able to pretty much turn left and right and do all sorts of maneuvers within realistic terms, within logic. You can't just sprint, full-on sprint with your gun on your side ready to pop anybody in front of you. You have to put it up in the air, and then even then you get tired of doing that. So all that the new engine is very smooth. Weapons sound great, everything sounds good. All the stuff, now we're going to the next topic, all the stuff from the old Call of Duty, all the stuff from the old previous version of Modern Warfare, from the beta, there we go, from the open beta and the closed beta, all of that stuff, and from even the launch of the game, because they were going to launch the game without a radar, but the community has to hassle them to put in a non-functional radar. And so all this stuff where it used to be that these are the things that they fixed. So they put the radar back in the game. They also made it so it used to be that whenever you were near an enemy, no matter what was in front of you, no matter if you were behind the enemy about to flank them, your character would have like a 80-90% chance of saying, "I found the enemy! They're over here!" And basically you're just shouting your death sentence, because if you couldn't already hear them behind you, or hear the enemy, or the enemy couldn't already hear you before trying to sneak up on them, the enemy heard your call out, which makes no sense, because of course in real life, if I say something, everyone around me can hear it. No one can mute me, and if an enemy can hear me, my friends can hear me. All realistically, that makes sense, but it's not realistic to say, hey guys, I found the enemy, when you're behind the enemy about to kill them. I don't think that that's a very smart move, and possibly gets you killed every time. And so on top of the enunciation of this, they removed that from the game. Doesn't happen ever again. And if they do call outs, the enemy cannot hear it anymore. So that's good. Third problem was when you were sprinting, even with dead silence on, you could still hear your footsteps. And I'm not talking about like real life, like, oh hey, you can hear my footsteps when I'm running. No. It's like amplified through walls, over your head, under you, no matter where you were. It used to be so loud, you could be in a building 3 buildings away from the enemy, and they could still hear you, and possibly even tell if you were on top of the building, below, what staircase you're on, what step you stepped on in the staircase, where you are, by pinpointing you. And it doesn't even take a good headset to be able to do that. They could just hear you because the footsteps were so unbelievably loud. That's been fixed. And those were the biggest complaints. And maybe I think the tanks, you were able to get streaks with tank kills, so that ruined ground war. And I'd say the last thing that hasn't been fixed though, besides everything we've already went over so far with the matchmaking, skill-based matchmaking, all this nonsense, they fixed the challenges. The challenges now work correctly, and you can now get your platinum camos, you can now get the end game camos, your gold, everything else. But the only thing that hasn't been fixed had to be the hit detection. The hit detection in this game and Peeker's advantage. For those of you that don't understand what this means, basically Peeker's advantage, you're able to see someone before they can even see you. And so if you can see someone before they see you and you kill them, and they are looking around after they died, like, where did I just get killed from? And you were right in front of them, but you were just doing you were in such a weird, you positioned your body in such a game-breaking way that for some reason the devs are allowing this at the moment, where 2 things could be happening right now. You positioned your body to the point where your whole body is behind cover except your line of sight, kind of like head glitching. If you know what head glitching is, if you're not new to Call of Duty, but if you are new to Call of Duty, head glitching is pretty much you position your head. So my hand right here, my right hand is the cover. I can position myself so all I have to do is see you, and my gun that's down here is going to be able to be up here when I aim down sights, and my bullets are going to be going kind of through the cover to the point where you pretty much can't do anything after that. Like, you are in a very tough position if you are the enemy. So if I'm doing a head glitch, you're on the other side, on the other end of the wall, and you're like, whoa, I can only see the tip of this guy's hat and his eyes and above. What then? That's a head glitch. Peeker's advantage is similar. You're manipulating the camera angle to the point where you could see someone without revealing yourself, which is a glitch in the game. That's not supposed to be happening, because in real life, to see someone, you have to position your eyes in a visible viewpoint to be able to see that person. So we all know video games don't always work the way they are intended to, but this basically happens all the time. So Peeker's advantage is that, and so the net code is just as bad. the netcode in this game, if you look up other videos, you're pretty much able to shoot people, and if you miss a few shots and you land a few shots, there's a chance that you are going to be hitting more shots than you actually hit, and vice versa. You are able to miss more shots than are actually hitting. So you see the bullet go through them and everything, but they're not dying. That is very, very bad netcode, very, very bad hit detection. This combining with the peeker's advantage is very scary. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, that I can not even think up anything else on this game, is the fact that you can pretty much be able to see, if you were to hop into a lobby right now and you're getting gunned from every single angle. The skill-based matchmaking is the last thing that we're going to be talking about, because in fact it is the #1 problem in the game, because everything else has been being looked at. The maps, they've been adding in remakes of older maps that were very good maps back in the day. So they've been giving us pretty much a good variety to be playing the game. And these new game modes like Shipment 24/7 with Shoot House, they're both good maps. Now, Shipment is good for XP. Shoot House is also good for XP, but it's a good, well-rounded map with 3 lanes. Can't mess that up. Now, score-based matchmaking is a big part of the game's multiplayer, but skill-based matchmaking doesn't only go off of kill-death ratio, assist, score per minute. Kill-death ratio can only bring you so far, and so can score per minute. But the real kicker here is, now for some reason the score-based matchmaking goes off of your accuracy. So if you have bad accuracy in the past 2 games, you are more likely to hit your shots against other people with around the same accuracy as you. You will be getting placed in matches with people with the similar previous accuracy reports from your previous games. That's crazy. That's scary even. Why would they even add that in? That's mind-numbing. That's mind-boggling. But that's going to be the end of this super long, full in-depth overview of Modern Warfare's multiplayer. Should you buy the game? If you already have it, should you play the game? Is the game playable? Is it enjoyable? Now, everything should already have been answered here, but let's go over it one last time, so top off the icing on the cake. Is the multiplayer actually fun and enjoyable? It is enjoyable every 1 out of maybe 5 matches you play, maybe. And it all depends on your personal skill level and how you play the game. Now, is it a good game? It is, but it's not in the way of multiplayer. I'm sure the campaign is fine, but Special Ops sucks. Didn't mention that, but Special Ops sucks if you were looking for a good Special Ops gameplay. And multiplayer is still going back and forth trying to make it better. Now, all of these questions being answered, that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my little debate I've been having and my experience with the game, along with some of my other friends' experience on this game. And hope you guys did get some good feedback. If you are trying to play this game, or you're new to it, or you're new to Call of Duty, or you got the game for Christmas, or if you're not a Christmas noob, you already had the game, or you're planning on buying the game with your Christmas money, definitely trying to make this video as informative as possible. It may not be the shortest video, but definitely one of the most in-depth videos you will be seeing on this channel, and probably on the majority on YouTube. For that point being said, thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you guys if you made it to the end of the video, and it's gonna be it from me. So see you in the next one.